This PechaKucha, my first ever, is about my journey to become a rather lousy but very, very happy powerlifter. But it doesn't really start there. To tell you how that all happened, I gotta go way back to the beginning. Where this really starts is with my family. This is my husband and his brother. We always said that when the parents passed away and it was just the kids, because we don't have a more extended family, that we would start traveling together for Christmas every other year. No more presents, just a really great trip. And we did it. Our first trip was Hawaii. We stayed here. Really spectacular spot, Ko'olina. And we stayed in a condo right on this building. Rented it from a local 3-bedroom place. Just amazing. Myself and my husband, his brother and wife, and sister. My sister-in-law was with us on this trip, and she's quite a bit older than me. My husband's older than me, and she's yet again older. She was a bit slower than the rest of us on the trip, and I remember saying to my husband, we really want to make sure that we're in good shape when we retire so we can enjoy. She had a hard time getting out of the ocean, and they weren't very big waves, not like this. Even little waves, she needed someone to grab each arm and help her get up, because she was unstable and not very strong. I just kept thinking, man, we got to get in good shape now so that when we retire, we're already fit and healthy. My husband and I agreed. We wanted to decline from a high spot, not a low spot, and we were not in shape. But as you can imagine, we did not do anything when we got back. Months and months and months passed. Didn't sign up to a gym, didn't do anything. And then one day, in August, I'm climbing the stairs with laundry. We're in a townhouse, and there's 2 flights of stairs to go up and down. And as I'm walking up the stairs and huffing and puffing and panting, my husband says to me, So, do you need a bit of help getting out of the ocean? It was a real smack in the face in a way. He was kidding, but it was true. I wasn't starting from a high point. I was still a ways from retirement. There was time. I could get fit. And instantly decided I was going to join the gym. I did it within a day or two on that weekend. I'll never forget it. This is my gym. As it happens, there's a whole bunch of really great powerlifters at this gym. A bunch of the trainers, also some of the clients. And I just started watching them because they were people that I knew and I was really excited to watch them compete. During one particular one, I was watching and thinking, this was so exciting. This is something I really thought I could do, or at least try. So I asked my trainer, I said, do you think this is something I could do? And he said, that's not the right question. The right question is it something you want to do? And as you can tell by this picture, the answer was yes. I signed up for a meet, I started training, and this is a picture of me at my very first meet. It was absolutely amazing. But as much as I could tell a lot of stories about powerlifting, one of the things that I want to talk about today is how it led me to writing. I created a bit of a blog to track my fitness journey, and I end up writing there as much about fitness for sure, but also about what I learned on the way. If you look at what I've been writing about, you can see that most of it isn't about weightlifting. A lot of it is about learning and what I'm thinking about. And that's been one of the most amazing parts of the powerlifting journey, has been new ways to look at life and new ways to look at work. And powerlifting, of course, as well. I've even posted some of my blogs about powerlifting that relate to work on LinkedIn. I'm afraid I've published quite a few actually. Since I've never really been much of an athlete or one to watch sports, all of my sports metaphors that are sports and business are all about powerlifting. More and more I found that when I was really trying to work something out in my head or I was thinking about something, I would write about it. When I went to some courses on leadership in the US, I learned a lot about narratives and how we tell our own story. That started weaving itself into my writing about powerlifting. And of course, I realized that this doesn't just apply to powerlifting or my personal life, but work as well. And it started to weave itself into my work life, into my practices there, into how I care for myself, care for my colleagues, into rest, into just about every part of my life. I started relating more and more about how leadership and powerlifting relate to one another. Perhaps it even became a little bit annoying to those who kept having to hear my analogies to powerlifting or to flexibility or to strength. Still, it helped all of the learning get deeper into my heart, into my. But of all of the things that have woven themselves into my heart and into my practice and stamped themselves onto my brain, and as you can see by this tattoo, even literally stamped themselves onto my body, is the concept of and. And instead of or. Let me tell you more. And is the idea that some things aren't opposites, or some things you don't just have one or the other. Kind of a little bit like yin and yang. Sometimes we see these as opposites, but maybe they don't really exist without each other. Another good example is, for example, breathing. Sure, there's something called inhaling and there's something called exhaling, and those are two very discrete things. But you can't have one without the other, and together they make breathing. If you only inhale, you die. If you only exhale, you die. This is one of the ideas of. That being said, I'm on my last slide. That means if you want to know what I learned about and, I guess I'm going to have to do another PechaKucha. So it won't just be one. I'm going to have my first PechaKucha and my second.